Hello everyone, it's Shane Conto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The New Yorker at 100. And this is a new documentary on Netflix from director Marshall Curry, narrated by Julianne Moore. And we hear from David Remick and everybody else working at The New Yorker as we go through time capturing the impact of this magazine. And this film leverages some fun animation at times for its storytelling and what it's trying to portray and capturing the famous covers, and I think that's a fun element that's incorporated into it. Julianne Moore's narration, she has a good rich voice that brings those words that she's portraying to life in a way that's engaging and keeps you focused. It has some interesting commentators from like John Hamm to Jesse Eisenberg, and they have some, I appreciate the anecdotes that they bring to the table especially, and you have these elements where they have these montages of the cultural impact of the New Yorker and how it's permeated through so much pop culture, and those are really effective, really capturing the scale of it. I appreciate the scenes, behind the scenes scenes of these meetings and discussing how they come up with ideas and stuff like that. They do, put you in the shoes of some of their writers and how the process of what they do. They have big cultural touch points throughout time that have really put the New Yorker on the map. It does a fine job of capturing the history of the New Yorker and the influence. And one thing that could have, I feel like, put this over the edge is, they talk about the French Dispatch and how charismatic and interesting all these writers are at the New Yorker. And here, I feel like it never quite reached that point where it doesn't have quite those interesting and engaging stories that you hope to get. And understand why these writers were so interesting and dynamic that elevated this magazine in that way. But in general, this is a nice, sleek, well put together, well structured, and well executed documentary that gives you a good sense of the history of the New Yorker, its cultural impact, and the process of putting it all together and verifying. I appreciate they went into In Cold Blood and Truman Capote and how that influenced how they fact check and improved what they do as a magazine. And those specific points and the evolution of the New Yorker, I think, are portrayed really well in Curry's film. And at the end of the day, this might not be the most dynamic or complex documentaries you're going to find, but it's a really fine ode to this great magazine. But those are my thoughts on The New Yorker at 100. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.